Welcome into our first edition of Sports Talk ATL Gambling Locks of the Season. Larsen and Jake, we missed week one. It was unfortunate we couldn't get together, but we did get together for week two. And it is unfortunate that we weren't here for week one because the slate in week two, not nearly as sexy as the slate in week one.
Hey, I went 6-3. I actually started off 6-0, then finished 0-3. So I had a bit of a roller coaster day, but great for me.
Yeah,
it's a good slate for sickos. There's some good
I know. And see, this is the thing. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, you haven't turned in previous seasons, we have our very own sicko and Larsen Griffeth. Like, that's why he's here. He is here to give us the facts on the teams that nobody knows about. And there's a lot of games like this. And James Madden in Louisville to kick off the slate is one of those games.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take JMU, but they were my preseason pick for the G5 to make the playoffs. So I would expect them to be a little frisky in this game. Bob Chesney's a good coach.
He is not a bad coach at all. Not a bad pick. I like them to win the Sun Belt. I'm not going to take a bet here, but I do see a lot of people taking them plus 14. They don't lose by more than 2 touchdowns very often, so probably not a bad bet.
Next game on the slate on Friday, Maryland. Shout out to my mom against Northern Illinois.
I don't have anything on this one.
Laying the 17 points. Anything sicko, Larsen? Nothing?
No,
All right,
no.
Stop me when you got something. Western Illinois, Northwestern. Come on. Everyone was on Northwestern last week. They got their ass kicked by Tulane. I mean, give me a break.
Hit the workforce, buddy. It's time to go.
Give me a break. Boise State, do they bounce back against Eastern Washington after getting absolutely shithoused by South Florida?
Yeah, this spread might be a little bit of an overreaction. 28.5 is a little low.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to play it. I was off the Boise train this year to start anyways. I thought they were way too – people were just automatically penciling in for that G5 playoff spot, but I don't think they're this bad. They should cover the spread.
I agree with that. Yep.
SMU and Baylor. That's interesting. A lot of people –
I kind of like Baylor here.
I liked Baylor. I mean, I didn't have a play in that Auburn game. I thought Auburn looked better, but I liked Baylor at the end of last season, and then, they did the Dave Aranda thing where they look like shit in a game that matters.
Yeah, part of my 6-0 was Auburn money line. I think Auburn looked pretty good in that game. They ran the ball really well. I don't know if SMU is going to run the ball as effectively. I'm not taking a side in this, but I would lean Baylor. I think a lot of people are probably going to be on SMU just being down on Baylor, but I think they just ran into a good Auburn team.
Yeah, what if Auburn's really good? I don't want to judge Baylor based on that. I don't have a pick in this game either. It should be a really good game. I hate that it's on the CW. But I would not be surprised if Baylor wins this game. I still have high hopes for Baylor. I think they can win the Big 12.
Iowa and Iowa State.
The under's a trendy pick in this game. And I can't say I blame you.
When is it not?
Years past. I'll probably end up taking the under. It's not an official play for me, but I'm going to get bored on the noon slate. I think it's going to be the noon game that's on while I'm in Cutters having a beer, so I'll probably take the under and just be miserable.
Nothing for me. Interested to see Gronowski, the new Iowa quarterback, against a good defense, because people really like this Gronowski guy. I'm not saying I don't like him. I think he's a good guy, good quarterback. I'm interested to see how he fares this week. This should be pretty low scoring. Yeah, I've got nothing. I'm not going to play it.
And how about Kent State here? I mean, the worst team in football from a year ago, playing Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a lot of people's darlings in the Big 12. A lot of people's darlings in the Big 12. They're laying 48 here. I'm seeing a decent amount of money on Kent State. Who the hell is betting on Kent State? Like, what kind of
48 points is a lot of points.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a ton of points.
But how does Kent State score?
Has anybody watched Kent State play football?
Right, they're not going to score.
Did you hear that? Did you see who they played last week?
They played Merrimack, and they were lucky. Yeah. They were lucky to beat Merrimack. It was a late Merrimack fumble.
Yeah. Hilarious. All right, now we get into something interesting. We got Duke. Only a 3-point dog here at home against Illinois, the 11th ranked team in the country. Definitely a little bit of a rat line.
Yeah, so I actually went to Duke's home opener to watch my boy Vincent Anthony Jr. Shout out to my boy VJ. Darian Mensah did look really good. Duke wasn't pushing the ball like crazy, from what I understand. Apparently, so the game was tied at half between Elon. I think it was 17 at half with Elon, which is not a great look. But Elon's a good FCS team, and apparently they switched play callers right before the game, and it kind of threw them off a little bit. But then they come out in the second half, they win 45-17. It's not really close. I think this is going to be a competitive game. 3 points is probably exactly where this line needs to be. I would probably put it as 3 points in the other direction. So if you like Duke, I would just take Duke money line straight up. I'm probably not going to play this one, but I think it's going to be a fun game.
I think I will play Duke. Last week to me was more about, that's funny you mentioned the play calling thing. I thought it was more like we are not going to show anything. And I like Duke's roster a lot more than Illinois. I know Illinois is kind of a darling. They bring back a lot. I'm just not a Bielema fan. And I think on top of everything they bring back, they lost their 2 best receivers who carried such a huge load for them. They also lost McCray to Georgia, the running back. So they brought back a lot, but some of their best guys are not there. And I just think Duke at home, I like their roster better. I guess I trust Manny Diaz more than Bielema. I'm just really low on Bielema. I think Duke wins this game. I'm going to take the +3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Here's one problem with what you said is you said Duke at home, and Duke has absolutely no home field advantage because nobody goes to the games.
Yeah, but there is something weird about those 12 o'clock sleepy games in the ACC where there's not a single fan in the building. Like, how do you get hyped up for that game? Especially,
if Duke
I know
doesn't have
Illinois
a fan in the building here. Like, come on, Duke fans, come on.
They need to show up,
Yeah.
man. That is the worst I've ever seen.
I also think, I'm not going to bet this game, but I would eat the cheese. I would eat the hell out of the cheese and take Illinois. I just think
they feel really trendy. Illinois.
I don't even think they're gonna. I don't think Illinois is the 11th ranked team in the country by any means, but I do think they have a big ass offensive line that's going to be able to push Duke around a little bit, and I think they'll be able to control the game that way. But it's just 3 points to me. It's like, why is this line 3 points? So I get why anybody who's smart against the spread realizes there's something fishy going on. That's what it looks like. Texas 37 against San Jose State. Bounce back spot for Texas after losing to Ohio State. Does Arch Manning look like the worst quarterback in FBS history this week?
Yeah, so I don't know what was up with Arch last week. The whole sidearm not stepping into his throws. He was throwing like a drunk uncle in the backyard, man. I don't know what that kid's deal was. I do think they'll be fine this week. San Jose State looked pretty bad against a mediocre Central Michigan team. 37 points, you're probably pretty safe. I'm not going to watch this game because I'm not a pervert, so I don't have anything for it. But I think 37 points, you're probably good to go here. This feels like a 42-3. You check your phone in the halftime of the 3:30 game and say, "Oh, I want to bet."
Well, allow me then. I think there's a chance Central Michigan's not as bad as the odds makers are setting this to be. I have Central Michigan over 5.5 wins. I think they can contend in the MAC. It wasn't a good loss for San Jose State. You got to win that game, but it may not be horrible come the end of the season. So I think 37 points feels like a ton, especially with Texas. Is Texas going to be playing everybody the whole game? San Jose State. I still think San Jose State makes the Mountain West Championship. I think they are a good G5 team. That feels like a lot of points, and I'm not going to bet it. So
yeah, I will say, you speaking on them not starting their star, I feel like Arch needs to be throwing the ball 60 times in this game.
Yeah, they need to. He needs as many reps as they can get him. Like
I don't care if it's 52-0. Like, he needs to be out there slinging the rock, because what I saw a lot yesterday, and frankly, I don't think him playing San Jose State, he's going to go out there and just set the world on fire either. I mean, Arch hasn't played a good game yet in his college career, so I didn't understand the hype going in there. I'm not shocked at all. I guess I'm shocked he looked as bad as he did, but I think week 8, week 9, I think the most impressive thing about Texas was everything else was so good. I mean, they dominated Ohio State. They dominated Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State had 200 yards. If they just convert a 4th and 1, it's a tie game despite Arch Manning looking like a high schooler playing against Ohio State. So I got a lot of faith in Texas. I mean, I don't like touching a lot of these 40-point spreads because it just always comes down to the end of the game, and the team has their third stringers in taking knees. Penn State against FIU. Penn State not covering against Nevada.
That was disgusting. What a weird matchup too. Can you think of 2 stranger schools to line it up than FIU and Penn State? That's all I got for this one.
Franklin will try to cover. That's what your good news if you're betting Penn State.
Yeah, after last week, he's going to go extra hard for that.
Yeah, I don't know, but fuck Franklin. Jacksonville State and Liberty.
Jacksonville State,
Liberty.
Number one, Jacksonville State, not as bad as I thought they would be after losing Rich Rod. Central Florida, just as bad as I thought they would be. I am on their win total under. They stink like ass. But JSU, they look competent. I was a little worried they were just going to be god-awful after Rich Rod took anybody worth a damn on their roster. But yeah, I know JSU may be live here. If you need something for the noon game, I'm not a Liberty guy, so I don't know.
Well, on top of that, Liberty looked awful last week. I think they played Maine. They looked really bad. So maybe it's a Liberty bounce back spot, or maybe Liberty's just bad and Jacksonville State's better. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's your chance to back Central Michigan, Larsen.
Too bad Larsen loves Pitt, too.
I was going to say, what do I do?
21.5 against Pitt.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about Central Michigan. So remember Vandy last year? Vanderbilt was a great underdog bet because they ran it was so much kind of option gimmicks, like the clock would run. They were a great underdog team to bet. Central Michigan's going to be the same way. They brought in Matt Drinkle from Army offensive coordinator, running the ball a lot of option. They're gonna trip up some teams, I think, who aren't really prepared to defend the option. The problem is I do like Pitt a lot too this year, so I'm not going to touch this game. But if you see Central Michigan in the future catching a lot of points like this, usually they will be a good bet.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, where else do you get that?
Fire
That's
'em
all
up
I'm
chips.
saying. Like where the hell do you get this? All right, NC State and Virginia. This might be my first play. Give me the Cavaliers.
Oh,
I watched NC State, and that was they were horrendous.
They did look really bad.
I took Eastern Carolina, and I did kind of like NC State's quarterback, but the rest of the team was just god awful.
Why do these Carolina teams keep playing ECU? I mean, they get beat all the time. Like that would be like if Georgia Southern beat UGA and Georgia Tech like every other year. We just keep scheduling them. Like, why do you keep playing these guys?
Yeah.
I mean, James Madison did that forever against like Virginia Tech.
Well, it was back in the day when everyone scheduled Georgia Southern when they were running the triple option and they were just pissing the shit out of every big team because it was like, like we're going to hold on to the ball for 9 minutes at a time. You're going to get 7 possessions. And in the third quarter, you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on?
We'll get to Georgia Southern at some point. So,
yeah.
Anybody else on the Cavs?
I'm not, but I love it.
No.
Connecticut and Syracuse.
Basketball game next.
Yeah, nothing.
Indiana and Kennesaw State. There we go, Kennesaw.
Hey, how about Kennesaw State? Like a little live last week. I mean, Wake Forest isn't very good, but they kept it close. They could have won that game.
Hey, Kennesaw State is an up-and-coming program.
Yeah,
I mean they've got like 70,000 kids at that school. Like it's just a matter of time before like they play some half-decent football at the FBS level.
Yeah, and speaking of small schools that give people a scare, Old Dominion gave Indiana a scare last week too.
Old Dominion's another.
They're another team that used to give Virginia Tech and Virginia hell. It's like, why do y'all?
They would play Virginia Tech like every single year, and it would be like a tight-ass game.
I remember there was a running joke on this show where like, do these guys actually play every year? Like,
they play they play Virginia Tech next week. Old Dominion does.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they play every year. Texas A&M and Utah State. Texas A&M didn't look great.
No, they did not. So I don't know. I don't know much about Utah State this year, but I got my eye on A&M as a team to fade with these big spreads. We'll see how they play this week.
I think Utah State's a team to fade. I'm not going to lay the number here, but I wouldn't mind doing it.
They smell
what? Western Michigan against North Texas.
I like North Texas here. North Texas is a team I like to back this year. They scored a lot of points last year. Like they're kind of an offensively based team. Their defense was a crime, and they went out and got a really good defensive coordinator from Sam Houston, Skylar Cassidy, and he's going to come in, revolutionize the defense, make the defense a lot better. I bet them last week against Lamar. Easy blowout win. I'm going to back them here because their offense is legit. Their defense is going to be a lot better. Western Michigan, I don't know if anybody watched them play Michigan State. They looked horrible. Western Michigan did, and only score was a pick 6. I don't see them moving the ball very much here, and I'm slightly worried to take a G5 team on the road, but I think North Texas, I got -8.5. I think they should win by double digits here. I just like the roster and the build-up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. You said some similar things about North Texas last year when they played Texas Tech, and
I did.
That was.
I can't believe you remember that.
Oh,
I
remember
that.
I remember some yikes.
Yeah.
When it's a big yikes, I was like, oh my God, what is going on?
Well, hey, that defense is better now.
And then I was like, dude, Texas Tech is a team you got to back. No, they just sucked. And North Texas.
The one I'll always remember is North Texas against Cal when I was like so sure that North Texas was going to win outright because Cal said it was too hot or something like that. And then they won like 54-27 or something like
that. We
had
great CLV in that game too.
I remember that one as well. Oregon State and Fresno State.
Fresno, pretty good showing against Georgia Southern last week. They absolutely killed them in the second half. So Fresno looks like a decent squad so far. Oregon State, not a complete dumpster fire. So I don't know. I would look at Fresno State, another one of these giant killer teams that whenever they play a P5 team, you do look out for them.
Unless it's Kansas. Kansas and Missouri. Missouri catches 6.5 to fighting Jalen Daniels. Feel like he's been there for 300 years.
Yeah, he's played 8 games.
I was going to say he was hurt for 200 of those years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like Missouri here. I like Bo Perbula. He had a good start. I don't think I'm going to take him just because I didn't really trust Missouri coming into the year. This is an interesting game, though. This is a very heated, underrated, very heated rivalry. Yeah. But I don't know. I would lean Missouri here, but I don't want to lay the points.
I have no idea what to do in this one.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It's like a stay away.
Yeah.
I like Jalen Daniels and Leipold at Kansas has been dangerous. They've also looked really bad. But I think Drinkowitz in Missouri, when nobody talks about him, is always dangerous.
He's doing a good job building there, really.
And Columbia is a sneaky place to play. This is a rivalry game. I expect it to be pretty juiced up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. But 6.5 also feels like a lot. Cincinnati and Bowling Green.
This is another one. Bowling Green, I mean, they played Lafayette last week. I mean, they weren't exactly super impressive.
They looked awful.
I don't know. Yeah, and Cincinnati should have beat Nebraska.
Yes.
I would lean Cincinnati.
I don't know if that
here.
says anything, though.
Yeah, baby.
I don't think it does, but they're a
Yes.
Power 5 team, and they didn't struggle with Lafayette.
Nebraska was an
I
embarrassment.
I will lay 20 with Cincinnati. I think it's my favorite bet of the week so far.
Oh,
Because I was really impressed with Cincinnati last year. All of the questions I had about them were answered, except for basically I was like, Sorsby hasn't turned the ball over, and then he throws that awful pick at the end. But I'm also just really low on Bowling Green. I bet they're under on wins. Fade the bottom of the MAC. The teams at the bottom of the MAC are just horrible, and Bowling Green falls into that category. And like last week, they struggled so much against Lafayette, who's not a very good FCS team. I think Cincinnati, it's a get right spot. They should be able to move the ball easily here. They host Northwestern State next week, so there's not a look ahead or anything like that. So I'm laying it with Cincinnati. I think it's comeback. I was really impressed with them last week. They'll score a lot of points here. Do you know who the Bowling Green quarterback is?
Oh, I feel like I did. I remember having
We've talked about this before.
Give it to me.
Drew Pine, baby.
That's right.
Drew
Yeah.
Pine.
I remember watching the game last week, and I was like, that guy is
Crazy.
still around, huh?
UTSA versus Texas Tech.
Texas State. But yeah,
Texas State, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a play here.
I do, and I will lay it with the Roadrunners, another one I really like, because I was really impressed with them last week. They went to Texas A&M.
They hung with A&M.
They hung around. Their trenches looked good. They ran the ball well. They stopped the run really well. And Texas State beat up, like I said, fade the bottom of the MAC. They beat up on a really bad Eastern Michigan team last week. I think something else here is like UTSA is really good at home under Jeff Traylor. They've been really kind of efficient there, and they win a lot. They got blown out by Texas State last year in what was a really big game where Texas State ran the score up at the end. I think there's some revenge here. I think UTSA, all 11 starters are back on offense. They're going to have a crazy good offense this year. So I don't think they're a bad bet to sneak into the playoff. I think the American gets into the playoff somehow, and it could be them, but I'm taking a -4. Yeah.
There we go.
Let's go.
Oregon and Oklahoma State.
All right, I have my first official play now. We're heating up a little bit. Give me Oregon in the first half -17.5. We all heard what Mike Gundy said about Dan Lanning this week. You remember the last guy to talk to Dan Lanning? It was Deion Sanders, and he went out there and he got his ass spanked on national TV in front of all those people. I think Oregon comes out with a little bit of edge here. I like Mike Gundy. I like Oklahoma State, but I think they're barking up the wrong tree. Give me the Ducks in the first half.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Oregon.
Yeah.
I like Oregon. I mean, you can put that as a play for me. I think the same thing. This is also just what Oregon does. Like Dan Lanning will spank the shit out of some team that they have no business really getting in arguments or fights about, and they'll pump up their chest, and everyone will be like, Oregon's so good, but they're really not. They're like a top 7 team, not a top 3 team. So this is where they do their best work against crappy teams. And Oklahoma State feels like a dying program.
That I agree with that. I'm putting on record. I think Oregon misses the playoff this year.
Okay.
I'm with you. I don't think Oregon. I just think it's more about this is where Dan Lanning does his best work.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean fade them this week. They're going to kill them this week. I'm just saying in the long run. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. Clemson and Troy. Clemson bounced back against the mighty Troy Trojans.
Yeah,
the Troy Trojans. Yeah, I had a bet on Troy last week against Nicholls State, and let me tell you, Troy won by 18, and they were lucky to get out of there with a win, much closer than the box score showed. Clemson, I tweeted this out this week. The last 3 years, Clemson's lost week 1. They had the 2 losses to Georgia. They lost at Duke that one time. They've come back in the next week and absolutely destroyed whoever they play, some small team. 66-20 against App State, 66-17 against Charleston Southern, 49-3 against South Carolina State. I think I took a Clemson team total over 41.5 here. I know they have Georgia Tech next week. I'm not going to worry about that. I think Dabo has showed that this is a get right. We're going to do our stuff. Everyone's going to get in rhythm. We're going to be fine. They'll hang 49 here against Troy, who looked really bad last week. So
I'll take Clemson as well.
Yeah.
I'll take Clemson as well. I think they're going to cover this. I like the stat that you said. I saw that earlier in the week, and it just feels like a Dabo move to get his boys right. And I think Cade Klubnik and that offense is much better than they showed against LSU. That was a tough matchup for them coming into the season. They have a ton of problems. I don't think Clemson is nearly as good as people touted them up to be at the beginning of the season. I think LSU is good, but I don't think Clemson. I think it was more about Clemson being, the 10th ranked team rather than a real championship contender. I think they reached their ceiling last year. That's just who they are. But I do think they'll beat the shit out of teams like Troy.
Yeah, exactly.
Rutgers and Miami, Ohio.
Rutgers, close one last week. They should have lost to Ohio. Nothing here for me.
Tennessee and Eastern Tennessee. It's not even on here. But if this thing does come up, if I do get a line here, I'll hammer Tennessee. I mean, you want to talk about Josh Heupel and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, two best teams to bet on against crappy opponents.
Cade McNamara is the ETSU quarterback, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, they got another big name transfer.
And it was Jacoby Criswell from North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina, yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
That's just what they do. I mean, there is a kind of a look ahead spot with Georgia, but I feel like Heupel, Lanning, Lane Kiffin, those are the guys that I trust.
Yeah.
Like when you need usually James Franklin outside of last week. Navy and UAB.
Navy got whatever they wanted last year in this game against UAB. I think I had a Navy team total in this game that cleared easily. I don't know if I'm going to bet this game, but that's where I would lean, even though I think Navy is slightly worse. UAB is just a total fade, man. Dilfer's a mistake.
He's terrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
I don't think Navy's a bad pick here at all. They're
UAB had a bit of promise there outside of the fact that they almost lost their football program. And Dilfer is just
they were great with Bill Clark, and then he retired, and Trent Dilfer's just
they almost lost. They should have lost last week to Alabama State. It took a huge comeback for UAB.
Yeah,
Colorado and Delaware.
I've got nothing on this game. You can skip the next game, which is Buffalo St. Francis. I'm just going to say if that opens Buffalo at anything less than 40, I would take Buffalo. St. Francis is a D3 program, like legitimately.
Hey, they beat Kent State last year, so I know
that's part of the problem. Yeah, part of the problem.
Georgia and Austin P. I don't have a number for. Kentucky and Ole Miss. First real SEC matchups.
Yeah, I'm going to take the rat line and take Ole Miss. I think Kentucky's that bad. I understand that Kentucky won this game last year. I understand that this line makes absolutely no sense and everything is saying stay away. I just think Kentucky's that bad, and I'm going to test their chin. And if they cover, so be it. I'm taking Ole Miss here.
Probably last year was a better Kentucky team than this one. And now you get the Lane. Like we just said, Lane will run this thing up if he needs to for revenge.
Yeah, you got to think the revenge aspect plays some, which is kind of why it's a stay away. But Lexington is one of those weird places to play. I mean, Georgia saw it last year.
Stoops back against the wall.
Yeah,
never know.
I feel like somehow they sneak a cover, like a backdoor cover in, and just play scrappy enough. But eventually the wheels are going to come off Kentucky, and they're going to be like a fade every week.
Oh yeah. They could
week
quit.
2 though, like maybe they have some fight in them. Wisconsin and Middle Tennessee State.
Middle Tennessee State got the doors blown off of them by Austin Peay.
Speaking of,
and I think they were like a 14-point favorite in that game, and they got absolutely smoked. So they might be really bad. They're on fade watch.
Yeah, I didn't want to touch Wisconsin in this game because especially like Wisconsin
for another year.
Yeah. For another year, they lose their starting quarterback in the first game, like or one of the first few games. They lost Billy Edwards last week. I will say I took Middle Tennessee team total under 8. How do they score in this game? They struggled to score against Austin Peay. I don't get that. I don't see it.
Ohio and West Virginia. Only a 3.5 point.
I was surprised by this line. Only 3.5.
There's a couple lines this week that maybe raised my eyebrow, but
yeah.
Well, this next one, this one. Oh, do you have something?
No. I was going to say West Virginia has Pitt next week, so I don't know if there's a look ahead. But how do you overlook when you're at a MAC team? I don't know.
Yeah. This might be the squarest pick of the week. I'm not taking it, but South Florida plus 18. That is like your squarest buddy you can think of. They're all over it.
Yeah,
they may be right. Yeah,
I made a video predicting some of these games. I actually had Florida 35, South Florida 17. So that's right on 18.
Just right on it. Yeah. I could see like a South Florida backdoor, but make no mistake, just because, and then watch. Now I'm going to get close.
It is the squarest pick, and there's no doubt about it. But I still and a lot of people are on Florida, but I have a real disdain for Billy Napier. I think he's a joke of a head coach. I think the way they ended last year was, I mean, a nice story, right? But they won fucking 7 games, and we're gonna fucking tout them around like they're this powerhouse. I wouldn't trust Florida laying 18 against anyone that.
Well, you have
has
to
a damn
also
pulse.
think like Billy Napier's actually had success against Tennessee teams with way more talent, and it's pretty much the exact same offense. So
There's also UCF or USF now is in position where they, should they win their conference or get close, that they could talk about potentially sneaking into the playoff. Like they should be this whole game. Let's keep
And
the
Florida
scores
plays at LSU next week.
Right. I mean, this has backdoor written all over it. Or can they lose 35-20, look respectable, something like that?
yeah, exactly. They're definitely going to be motivated. I don't think that's a question.
Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, outside of the game that we'll get to later, like that's the one that I'm going to be watching.
That's a good game,
enough.
right?
Yeah,
because I'm going to the LSU Florida game next week, so I want to see what we're up against. Arkansas and Arkansas State.
Taylor Green looked good, but Arkansas played the Sisters of the Poor last week.
They did. They played Alabama A&M. I will say this: they got pushed around in the trenches a little bit, which was a little worrying. I'm taking an over here, 62.5. I think Arkansas should be able to score a ton here. And Little Rock, big game. Arkansas State, though, they'll find their ways to score. I had some doubts about Arkansas last week, despite winning by a huge number, but a lot of points in this game, I think.
Marshall and Missouri State.
I wanted to take Missouri State. Like, should Marshall be favored by 10 over anybody? They're
no.
But there's too much uncertainty. But that's where I would lean. I don't know.
Here we go. This feels like a Larsen game. South Alabama hosting Tulane, who obviously
that's another
set the
eyebrow
world on
raiser
fire with a blowout win over Northwestern. After I heard all these gambling sharps, quote unquote, be like, Northwestern's a good team. Northwestern money line. Northwestern, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
shut the fuck up.
This is an eyebrow raiser, man.
Was that you? Were you on Northwestern?
Yeah.
Well, hey, we didn't have the show last week. You didn't have to admit that. You didn't have to admit
South Alabama gave up 21 points to Morgan State. You expect me to stop John Summerall on this offense, or at least keep it within 11? Something's fishy about this game to me.
I'll tell you this: every time
it's also too late to Mobile. That's not far.
Every time I bet against Tulane, and I followed those stupid ass sharps and like put them in a parlay, and I was like, this is the stupidest parlay ever. They suck. Talking about Northwestern. Every time I bet against Tulane wipes the floor with the team that I bet against. I think they did it to South Florida last year. I was like, yeah, South Florida's got this. And oh my God, it was the most embarrassing game I've ever watched. So I don't know. I don't bet against Tulane anymore.
I mean,
they got my respect.
Tulane has Duke next week. So maybe look ahead a little bit. I'll say this too. Like they were super dominant last week, but it was like the story of the Tulane Northwestern game was Preston Stone threw 5 interceptions, and that was it. Now credit to Tulane's defense, obviously, but yeah, I just wonder if there's a little bit of a drop back, especially looking ahead to next week.
Don't throw 5 picks, and you might have a chance.
Right. Hey, exactly.
Kansas State against Army.
Kansas State, boy, you guys better figure it out. Whoever loses in Ireland is just fucked for the rest of the year.
Army did lose to Tarleton State. This might be the battle of the most disappointing teams so far in FBS. I mean, Kansas State should have lost to, what was it, FCS South Dakota?
North Dakota,
North Dakota. And then Army loses to Tarleton State. They got guys humping the Army signal in their locker room. I mean, just an absolute. I mean, those are our troops, bud, and you're humping them. I mean, I love it. I mean, this is college football, but it is, that's a bad look, Army. Come on, man.
I think Army also lost one of their really important rushers last week to injury, so he probably isn't playing. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this one.
Memphis and the fighting Georgia States.
This is another eyebrow raiser. Georgia State, I mean, they're a solid team. I mean, obviously they played Ole Miss last week, but they kept it close for a half. I feel like Memphis should be favored a little bit more in this, but I'm going to stay away.
I will stay away too. Yeah.
Western Kentucky and Toledo.
Toledo was giving Kentucky hell last week, but I don't know about Western.
Hey, they squeaked in the backdoor cover. We'll take it. Nothing here.
Houston and Rice, another game that feels like it's played every year.
Have you seen the uniforms that Rice is wearing?
Yes.
No.
Those are worth 6 points.
Yeah.
They got the powder blue, breaking out the throwback powder blues. Those are worth.
So
6
do we
points
get?
apiece.
So are we hopping on Rice simply on because of uniforms?
Well, look at the total. 9.5.
Good Lord, 39.5 is.
So they're expecting.
This is a game that features Connor Wegman. So.
Well, I'll echo what I said about Central Michigan. It's the same thing about Rice. New coach. It's an option attack. They're going to run the clock. They're going to make teams really have to work on defense to stop them. Rice, big win last week. I have over 3.5 wins. Big win last week against
over 3.5
Louisiana.
wins.
Let's go.
That's hilarious. Over 3.5. Like,
Right.
I'm betting on the shittiest team to win 4 games. I love that.
Absolutely.
UNC and Charlotte, the fighting Bill Belichick's. Can they get a win against Charlotte?
Yeah, I think this is going to be an overreaction line. I think UNC will be fine. I'm not betting them to beat anybody right now, but I think UNC will be fine.
Yeah, I laid 11.5 with UNC. I think that's a ton of overreaction to last week, where TCU might actually be good. I watched Charlotte last week. Charlotte had every reason to beat App State on paper and got pushed around and should have lost by 50 points. So I think UNC, it's a bounce back here.
Vandy and Virginia Tech.
I want to take Vanderbilt money line straight up, but I'm not going to. I just want that on the record.
Well, I was going to say we might be different on this one because I'm playing Virginia Tech again. I think last week they looked a lot better than the score showed against South Carolina.
Yeah.
The defense, outside of a scripted first drive for South Carolina and then a huge play to Harbor, the defense made South Carolina work really well. And I think the defensive line, they stopped the run really well. That's the strength of the defense. They should be able to match up pretty well with Pavia. And I don't think Pavia, I'm gonna have to see it for Vanderbilt to beat them over the top, which is the weakness.
Well, I mean, we're only 1 year removed from Vanderbilt winning this game right at home and everyone freaking out like it was the biggest thing that's ever happened in program history. And Virginia Tech wasn't good, but it was just like, wow, Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech. And now we got a Virginia Tech at home, only laying a point. So I like Clark Lee though. And I do like Diego Pavia, but that's a tough place to play. And I think Virginia Tech's going to be better this year.
It's a night game.
I do have a bet for the next game, Boston College. Give me Boston College against Michigan State.
Okay.
I don't hate that at all. Yeah, I would.
I like Bill O'Brien. And the quarterback that they have, was at Alabama. Yeah, was at Alabama and transferred along with Bill O'Brien. And I got some buddies that played with him, got a lot of good things to say about him. Think he's going to be pretty good. So I like Michigan State being favored against anybody. And the public's riding them. Okay. Yeah. Give me Boston College. I like Bill.
Okay.
I agree with that.
This one's fun though. Michigan and Oklahoma. This one's so intriguing to me because I hate both coaches. Brent Vegetables has been a dismal thing, but he's a great defensive coach. And can he throw something at a rookie in Bryce Underwood, who I think is going to be everything people talked about Arch Manning as. He's going to be a superstar at this level, but it's still his first game going on the road against Oklahoma. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I actually really like Michigan outright here. I don't know if I'm going to take it. I have my finger on the trigger, but I got
Michigan. Like, you can put that.
I like Bryce.
I'll take the +5 just in case, but I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma, John Mateer's a stud, but Oklahoma's got this offensive line that's just kind of been put together. It didn't look good. Michigan, you know what they're going to be able to bring defensively. And I know Bryce Underwood's going to struggle some at times in this game. I don't think he's going to have to score that many points. And I just think he's going to make plays at the end. I got faith in Bryce Underwood.
That's my question. Is Bryce Underwood going to struggle? Because he looks pretty damn good. I don't know.
He's unbelievable. I mean, like, a lot of times you give a 5-star freshman $12 million. I'm like, you're an idiot. I only needed to watch Bryce Underwood one time against some bum-ass school to be like, yeah, he was worth $12 million.
Yeah, the kid's solid. I like Michigan because of him.
I would lean Michigan too. I'm not a John Mateer hater. I like John Mateer. I think he's a really good quarterback. But isn't this the toughest defense he's gone up against in his 2-ish years? I mean, yeah, like this is
and especially if they can't block. Especially if they can't block for him.
Right.
I like Michigan. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah. First half under.
You're going to give me 5 points.
Yeah. The first half unders have been hitting in these big games early on. I think this is similar. This has every making of like 10-3 at halftime.
Mississippi State and Arizona State. This
is actually the smelliest line of the week. Forgive me.
I can tell you this. I hate Arizona State. I think they suck. I want to fade them all season. I just don't know if I have the heart to put money on Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's where the problem arises here. I love a home underdog as much as the next guy, but Mississippi State is terrible. But this line, once again, like you said, does not make sense.
They played last year, and like this was before anyone knew who Arizona State was. And Mississippi State lost by 7, I believe.
Yeah, I remember. Closer than the experts think.
Mississippi State did look good last week against Southern Miss, who I'm really high on. I expected that game to be really close, and Mississippi State actually looked pretty good. I would lean their way. You got to buy it to 7, but I would lean that way.
That's how I feel. I mean, it depends how the day goes. It's a 7:30 game, but if I'm feeling confident at 7:30, Mississippi State's getting a bet.
Yeah,
they're just getting a bet. Ball State and Auburn. Holy shit, Ball State.
Yeah,
fade the bottom of the MAC.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Auburn really going to run it up this crazy? They do go to Oklahoma next. Auburn's got a pretty tough stretch after this. I mean, they play Oklahoma, A&M, and then Georgia their next 3. They have South Alabama after that. So no look-ahead spot. Forgive me for that. But we may look for South Alabama next week if they look good against Tulane, because then Auburn goes Oklahoma, A&M, and then Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia Southern and USC.
Georgia Southern just fell apart last week. Absolutely fell apart. They were playing a really good game against Fresno. Ended up getting absolutely whooped. Jaden Maiava at USC looks pretty good. Clay Helton homecoming game. I would expect USC to beat them pretty handily.
It's probably a USC team total or something based off 73 points last week. I want it on record. I'm extremely worried about Georgia Southern over 7.5 wins. That's not the start I was expecting. So,
well, I have them to win the Sun Belt, so I guess at least that's technically still alive.
Yeah.
Nebraska against Akron. Now, Akron was the worst team I've ever seen try to move the football.
I wasted so many years off my life watching Akron, Wyoming last week, hoping for Akron plus 7, and they lost 10-0. They couldn't move the ball at all. It's got to be that is. They
also punted down 10 with 3 minutes to go.
They did. I was appalled. It would be an Akron team total under. I don't know how they scored. That offensive line is the worst in the country, bar none.
And here we go to game of the week. LSU against hosting Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech, I got 53. I see 53% of the bets. I don't know where that comes from, but okay. I guess it's a look ahead spot, and you just got a big
Florida next week. Sandwich.
I mean, they also just got a big win against Clemson, so it's a huge sandwich spot.
Yeah,
but fuck you guys, Tigers.
I will not bet it. Yeah,
I'm good.
Alabama and Louisiana Monroe.
Boy, oh boy.
If this was Saban, it would be 63-0.
It's not Saban. Kalen DeBoer has lost 4 games where he's been a 14-point favorite or higher outright. He's not going to lose this one outright. Lord, I hope not. Actually, no, I hope so. But it's going to be embarrassing if he does. But I would say, I'm not touching this one. But Louisiana Monroe, if they keep it close, oh boy.
UNLV only 2.5-point dog against UCLA, the most embarrassing team. I mean, God, that Nico situation.
Both of these teams looked like absolute shit last week. If UNLV had looked halfway competent, I'd be all over them right here. But they look just as terrible. Dan Mullen's a clown. Nico Iamaleava is a clown. So this is the circus game.
Dan Mullen, the best coach the Florida Gators have had in the last 15 years since Urban Meyer was there.
Will Muschamp, like overall coach, like if we're talking
that
guy
was
coach,
fucking horrendous.
Yeah, no. It's defense. He's a great defensive coordinator though.
I need Dan Mullen back in the SEC. I need him back.
I'm going to stay away from UCLA as long as I can. I think they are a mess. I think they are horrible. I actually faded them last week. It was very easy. I will continue to do that, but I will not bet on them at all. No.
New Mexico State and Tulsa.
Tulsa looked pretty good last week. I mean, I think they played Abilene Christian.
Hell yeah, they did. And I wanted to bet them so bad, and I didn't. So I'm betting them this week, minus 3.5. I just think there's a lot of actually like some positivity in there. They got a new young coach. The roster is so bad, but they just have some spunk, like you like to say. New Mexico State looked horrible. New Mexico State's awful. Tulsa's defense actually looked the part last week a little bit. So Golden Hurricane, minus 3.5. They're going to go on the road and do it.
Wazoo against San Diego State.
I like San Diego State here too. I took them +2, took them money line.
Fade in the Pac-12.
Washington State's bad. Yeah, they should have lost last week to Idaho. A bad Idaho team that's not very good. I'll take the Aztecs.
BYU and Stanford.
This line doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm going to stay away from that reason. I actually have BYU's win total under. Dumbest bet I've ever made. It's because their quarterback wears number 47. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. There's no team that's winning 6 games with a quarterback wearing 47. But Stanford is horrible, as expected. It's really just not going well. Frank Reich picking up right where he left off in Carolina. No thanks on either of these teams.
No.
All right, and lastly, Hawaii and San Jose State. Or San Jose
if I have
State,
enough
Sam
drinks and I'm
Houston.
up, I'll take Hawaii.
I would be careful. Hawaii's quarterback is out.
His leg
line's
was all
dropped from
messed up.
9.5 down to 7. So I don't know. But Sam Houston's defense is one of the worst in the country. So
that wraps it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we got some wins.
Yep, we did.
Hopefully we got some winners. Larsen, I'm going to be texting you. Hopefully we go on a run this Saturday.
Make get ready to bet Tulsa, buddy.
Oh, I'll be at night game with Tulsa and New Mexico State. I'll be locked in.
If I'm up, I'm on Tulsa.
Yeah, we are rocking with the Golden Hurricanes. That wraps our show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back to you next week.